Episodes. I'm killing it right now. I want to say first, big shout out to everyone that listened to the first episode. I have all the stats here, and I'll be honest, it's not looking good for the sponsorships. But on the bright side, my parents are letting me stay on the phone plan for another week because of you. So big shout out to you guys. Anyways, let's get to this week's episode. I got to sit down with a young photographer from Minnesota named Luke Schmidt. For being so young with this much raw talent, I really believe he's got a huge future in sports photography as well as other fields. I hope you enjoy as Luke and I talk a little photography, inspiration, and future goals while we sip on something age-friendly. Whether you're walking the dog or sitting at the office desk contemplating your life decisions, I hope you enjoy. Welcome back to the Sunday Sips podcast. We got a super special guest today, photographer. I don't know what else you would consider yourself. I'm going to say photographer, hockey player, everything. You don't play professional hockey, nothing like that. Just a professional photographer, correct?
Yeah.
Cool. For most of you who don't know, we got Luke Schmidt in the house today. Super glad to have him on the podcast. It kind of worked out quick. I think that was last week. I already hit you up. I appreciate you coming down, making this work today. That was cool. For anybody that doesn't know Luke, I gotta tell you, you have to check out his work. There's in this state, I think alone, there's now many photographers doing it like you. Like it is insane what you are doing.
Thanks, man.
So we're gonna dive into that and how you're doing it, what's going on. Now we also, you know a little bit about the podcast. I told you a little bit about it. And I'll tell you, I know your age. Some of the viewers don't. We don't need to discuss that.
Yep.
But we got a little surprise today in the O'Doul's category of the non-alcoholic beer today. So you're going to enjoy that.
I'll try.
We're going to dabble. We're going to test it out. We're going to see how it goes, okay?
First time having
are you
non-alcoholic. I'm down, I guess.
Down for that? Yeah. Cool. Well, welcome again. I appreciate you coming down. Let's just jump into it. Based out of central Minnesota, kind of.
Yeah, I would just say Minnesota. I'm
based out of Minnesota.
Everywhere in Minnesota,
yeah. As far as like some of your work, I see you shoot all over the country as well. But your work stems from hockey work, working with the NHL, bubbler, seniors, a little bit of fashion studio kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm getting into it.
You're getting into there.
Yeah,
that's a tough world there. That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
What else do you do? What else, like, is there anything else that check all those boxes?
I work for Bauer Hockey. That was kind of my biggest one that I stepped up to before the NHL. Do some travel and stuff like that. I like doing travel.
You tell me before you like to plan out those trips.
Yeah.
We'll get into that.
Yeah.
Cool. I actually found out about you through one of my earlier podcast guests, Jackson Castor. Actually, I kind of known about you prior to. I didn't know much about you. I'd seen maybe a snippet of your work, and then Jackson sent me an image. I said, "Who did this?" He said, "Oh, it's Luke." And I instantly went into Instagram, started looking you up, and I was like, "Holy shit!" I was completely blown away. You started. What did you first start with when it came to your photography? Like, where did you jump into it? How did you get started?
Interesting story. So, it was 8th grade. I was playing hockey, and I got a concussion. It was, real bad. Okay. So, I was out for 10 months. Didn't go to school for 5 months.
Really?
And so, my dad bought me a GoPro.
Okay.
And it was, the Hero 4 Silver. It was, the real big one that really launched GoPro. And I started messing. It was the first one that had, long exposures on it.
Okay.
So, of course, I look up long exposure. I'm like, what the hell is that? So, I see, the steel wool stuff.
Yep.
So, I'm like, that's pretty sick.
Okay.
I like lighting shit on fire, you know? So, I started buying steel wool, started, spinning it and stuff like that. Yep. And then I bought one of those, light sticks.
Yeah.
It started doing,
Were you doing that, turn the thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
So much. I was so into it. I won a few, won a few contests like that
Really?
doing that. And then I did like, I think one I won for GoPro actually was I did like a long exposure of the stars, you know, like a 3-hour long exposure. And then at the bottom there's like a light painting, you know, thing. And it just looks sick, you know. I still love that picture. But like, then I took my sister's camera. It was like a Canon T3. It was before the T3i. So it was like early. I mean, the thing had like 12 megapixels. My phone's got that.
Of course.
Dabbling, you know, started doing little portraits and stuff like that. Then my dad and I decided, let's just go road trip the West, you know, in his truck, sleep in the back of his truck for 2 weeks and just drive Colorado, Utah, went to the Tetons, Yellowstone.
And so that's kind of where...
That trip.
Is that where you expanded on that?
Yeah, I rented a 5D Mark III and it was just like...
You just game over.
Yeah, I mean, it was a big chunk to bite off of, but I loved it.
Really?
Yeah, and so then I just started doing senior photos and stuff like that.
And so that was in that time period of the concussion, or that was...
That was right after.
Okay,
so
right
I got
after.
the concussion, but the initial thing pretty much that set me off was the concussion, got the GoPro and all that.
So you're just chilling, GoPro, get the Mark III. You're running Mark III in your first like 2-3 weeks, man. That's
I worked at a chicken place right after, and as soon as I saved enough money, I bought a Mark III. Yeah, and as soon as I got it, I was like, done. I'm not working.
And that's crazy because a
anymore.
lot of people like that first, you know, most people when they first start getting into photography, they don't know much about equipment.
Yeah.
You know, this cameras, everything's just so wide. But to start off with the Mark III, I mean, back in the day, people were just dreaming to have one.
Yeah, and I would just sit in my room and experiment with settings, you know, like what. And I just got used to, you know, like this is what the aperture does, the ISO, shutter speed.
So you are really self-taught then?
Oh yeah, I've never...
Besides a couple of YouTube videos?
Yeah, pretty much YouTube videos and random articles and self-taught.
So you're self-taught photographer, leads you into, obviously into the hockey field.
Yep.
You go into that kind of area of photography. You said you grew up playing hockey, so you understood the sport. We were talking earlier about, you know, how difficult it can be if you don't know the sport to follow it.
Oh yeah.
You know, to be on top of everything and where everybody's going to be at. I give you a lot of credit because that's a tough thing to do.
Yeah, it is. Hockey's a different beast, man.
I would imagine.
I mean, just knowing from playing it helps so much. Just because I played at St. Cloud Cathedral in high school, won a state tournament there.
That's right.
But it wasn't until after I started shooting hockey until after high school. So I've only been shooting hockey for 2 years.
Wow.
So it's been a crazy
2 years and already working with the NHL.
Yeah, it's been a crazy row the last 2 years.
What do you think got you to that point? Was it your drive? Was it obviously your talent? But you know, when it comes to, for anybody listening, you know, I want to bring a little value to these guys of like, you know, somebody's up and coming, just coming out of high school. What does it take to get to your level working with brands like that and corporations?
Yeah, I mean, just putting myself out there and working my ass off. Okay. You know, I knew how to work the camera pretty well from doing like senior shoots and the travel stuff. But then once I dove into hockey, it was like right away. I was kicking out some really good images, and I started doing work for SDSU, St. Cloud State, and then it was a lot of fun. But I was just kind of missing like a gap, you know. I went to college, did not like it. Not a college dude. I just can't concentrate. But I was going to St. Cloud State at the time, so then I dropped out, but I was still shooting them. But I was like, I need a project. So I started shooting my old high school team. Okay. I went to every freaking game, like high school games, crappy rinks and stuff like that. And they made it to state, and I shot the state tournament, but I got like the crappiest porthole. You know, it wasn't even the corner; it was on the sidewall, so I didn't even get to see the whole ice. But pictures I took were just kick ass. Yeah, and so that's kind of how Bauer saw me, because Bauer sponsors the whole tournament. And their photographer saw my stuff, and he's like, "Yo, like, let's hire this kid." Really? Yeah. So I mean,
so just kind of a right place, right time.
Yeah, yeah. And I was just putting my work out there on Twitter and Instagram.
Just getting it out there.
Yeah,
that's how you do it. I mean, you know, it sounds like from you. I mean, if you don't put yourself out there, you don't go back. And you know, that's one thing where I started too, is like, I just had to be around. Like, you just have to be around. Yeah. You never know what situation you're gonna be in where you meet somebody or another photographer or another so and so. It doesn't matter. But you know, I tell people, it's like, you gotta put yourself out there, because if you don't, the opportunities aren't gonna.
I'm sending emails like crazy to just random
Yep.
I mean, bubbler. I just sent a random email. Me and my buddy were bored during quarantine, and like had nothing to do, no shooting, and I just took some pictures of a bubbler
and
sent it to him. Now they're sending me bubblers.
Now he's drinking bubbler. If anybody can see this, he is drinking bubbler today.
Yeah.
I asked him if that was like a 24/7 thing, like in the contract he had to be drinking. I don't think it is.
No.
They
They send me so many, and like.
Okay.
Like, if I have bubblers on me, though, and somebody asks me, I'm supposed to give them a bubbler.
Yep. So you just got bubbler everywhere.
Yeah, I have 20 cases, or 20 bottles in my room.
And so you shoot a little bit of product, whatever you're going. Say, do you, when you go out on travel and you bring bubbler with? Is that
yeah. So I went to Colorado in October, and I did, I was there for a week, sleeping in a van, but did like a few photos for bubbler.
Really?
Yeah, that's it. I just took a few, and they loved it,
That's a pretty sweet gig. Is that kind of like one of your big passions, is like finding stuff like that where you can just like, hey, here's some products.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah, 100%.
I go through too where I go, okay, like golf. For me, golf is a huge passion of mine. There's so many golf brands that are coming out, and I'm like, if I'm gonna spend money on something, like I'm gonna spend $40-$50 on something. I know my work is obviously I would charge way more than that, but to get some product out of it, why not?
100%.
Like,
and I only do products I really like. Like I'm not gonna do I get the Instagram DMs. I'm sure you get them all the time.
All the time.
Like, shoot this watch.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Well, half the time I'm like, is this even real?
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, follow. You got to send a message to our main account. And the main account is
well, that's what I thought
followers.
with Bauer. I got a DM from like some account that said this like Bauer Life or whatever, and I'm like, this is fake. Like, no way Bauer's DMing me right now. And I start reading, and it's like, yo, I'm the art of director or whatever at Bauer Hockey.
Wow.
And I love your stuff. Like, you send me your email, and like I'll email you some stuff, and like let's start talking. And I was like, this is fake. This is so fake.
You're going, that's not real.
Yeah. He emails me. He's got all the credentials.
That's insane.
And I'm like, holy crap.
Yeah. So you get those first ones. You're like, okay, I don't know. Like, do I even reply?
Yeah.
Like, do I put this back in the? Do I just?
And I'm just like, I'll just reply. I'll send him an email. We're saying he sends me a dumb email.
That is like the worst thing you do. I tell people all the time, you know what? It's worth it. They're going to take your information. They're going to, they don't really know you. It's like the worst that could happen is it's a scam.
They send me a spam email.
Yeah, that's all.
I just blocked their email.
So you get stuff, or you find companies that are growing. It's like, you never know. I mean, I've gotten plenty of DMs where it's like, okay, what do you mean you're going to send this, and this, and I just got to shoot it? And then I get to keep it? I said, I don't know about that.
Yeah, and Bauer's the leading brand in hockey right now, which is crazy. And like, I wore Bauer growing up. I had a Bauer stick.
I would imagine that's pretty insane to just kind of one of your, those brands that you grew up having on you or around you all the time, reaching out for the first time.
I probably bought thousands of dollars in Bauer gear as a kid growing up. My parents have spent so much money at Bauer.
I would imagine.
Like, so they're happy. Like, finally, you get some free stuff from Bauer.
That's how it goes
after all these years.
There. Man, that's funny.
Yeah.
So diving into like some of your work, I tell if you're listening, I'm telling you, go check out his work. Right away you get onto your website. Gorgeous website, by the way.
Thank you.
That layout.
I put a lot of work into it. I just updated actually like 2 days ago.
Yeah, I saw you change your logo too or something.
Yeah.
And when I went on there, even last night, I was just getting a little bit more information, trying to study a little bit more. I said, I need some material. I went on. I said, man, I think I need him to design my website.
Yeah.
I said, whew, this is killer.
Yeah.
But you go on and you see so much. I mean, even in your bio, talk about like storytelling. When you go onto that site, the emotions from the hockey to the seniors to the travel, you start putting that all together, man. Where does that story come from for your photography? Like, how do you build that style of work to have so much passion in it?
I guess I just feel, especially with hockey, I just like try to take pictures. I would have liked, when I was playing, not just like them skating down the ice. I want to catch like the emotion, because it's like, hockey's known as like one of the most emotional games, the toughest dudes. Yeah. I mean, there's tough dudes playing in the league. I mean, my cousin plays for Vancouver, and he's a tough dude. I mean, I've met NHL guys. One of my old teammates just won. He was on the all rookie team in the NHL. Wow. So I know how tough these guys are, and to see like the aspect of like how joyful or how sad they are. I mean, I'll catch guys after they lose a state semifinal and be in a locker room with them. Some of my best photos are from that, you know, and I only took like 10 pictures in 2 hours. Those are some of the best pictures ever.
It comes from your own kind of experience. Of like you've gone through these things.
Yeah.
And then you mix it with what would you want for Instagram? What would you want for your own kind of personal, like if somebody was to bring you photos, is that kind of how it was? You said if somebody's going to bring me photos, what would I want?
Yeah, and I remember my junior year of high school, we lost in double OT to go to state, and we were the number 2 team in the state, and we lost to number 15.
Yeah.
And that was like the most painful freaking day of my life.
I would imagine.
So I just would, you know, like when I have pictures from that game, I'm like, well, man, I wish I would have had nicer pictures just to remind me, like, if I can go through that shit and then go on and win a state championship the next year and be that, like, it fueled me.
Even just to have it.
Yeah.
Hang
it was just fuel.
Say,
it was fueling my fire. And I still, like, not just in hockey. I mean, I'm pissed off. Like, I know, like, I can get through it. I got through that. I can get through this and just have that mentality.
And that, I'm sure, leads into even your photography.
You
have
100%.
Your ups and downs. You know how to get through it.
Yeah, especially with, like, COVID and all that. I mean, there was, like, started to, like, feel like I'm really breaking through, and all of a sudden, like, everything stops. I'm like, I'm not getting shoots. Like, just sitting at home, like, what am I doing? And,
I totally get it.
And I'm like college dropout, you know, and like that looks terrible.
You start contemplating everything.
Yeah, I'm like, what am I doing with my life? And
this is photography. Man, my mom and dad told me that was leading over.
Yeah, you know, like I was a pretty good student, especially with like I would tutor, like when I was a sophomore, I would tutor the seniors on like CAD and writing code, and so I could have easily gone to engineering, and I was just like, you know, I didn't really know, and my hockey coach who I was really good friends with, and he was a good mentor. He just said, do what you love. I was like, screw it.
You're just doing it.
Full sends.
Yeah, why not?
And I didn't even know exactly. I mean, I didn't start shooting hockey till after high school. Yeah. And I was just like, just going to do it.
Just do it.
Yeah.
You just go through it. Even, you know, I jumped into my own business. And a lot of times, you know, you hear so many people say, well, you gotta save this. You gotta do this properly. You don't jump, you know, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't do it. I said, you know, if I don't do this, I'm never going to have a hard time doing it.
Yeah.
If everything's just perfect leading into it, I'm going to have nothing to base off of what is true success and what is true failure. I mean, true failure is going a month without anybody booking you and going, okay, how do I do this? I need to make rent.
Yeah.
How do you make rent? And so there's ways that I look at, especially in photography. I'm sure sales for you isn't that easy, like it is for me. Yeah. Like being a photographer, I just want to take photos. Yeah. Right? You just want to take photos. Yeah. The emailing, the sending, I want to be there. So then you look at that aspect of this really puts you, when you go full send into something, it puts you up to that plate, and you got to swing, man. Yeah. Like there's no looking at pitches for me, baseball references, but like there's no looking anymore. Yeah. You know, you gotta get up there and hit. Yeah. Like that's really, to me, the only way to do it. Yeah. Like, and so it seems like that's kind of what you were going with, was just going with it.
Yeah, and
you're doing it.
Even dabble a little bit in playing junior hockey, and I just knew, like, I played like 6 games, and I was like, I just need to be taking pictures, man. I can't do this.
Go back to it. Yeah. You're probably sitting on the bench going, man, it'd be pretty fun to get some of these shots.
Yeah.
I would imagine.
Yeah, and like driving to Milwaukee on a bus with a bunch of dudes I really don't like and stuff like. I don't know these guys.
I totally get it. I spent a couple weeks there, just sitting on buses, traveling back and forth to hockey games and doing videography work. So I know what that bus life is like. Yeah, it's a challenging life.
I loved it in high school. As soon as high school ended, I'm like, dude, I hate this bus. I don't know.
Dudes from all
I don't know. Like, this dude's from Alabama, the other dude's from like Alaska. Who are these kids? They're just freaking weird.
It'd be pretty tough.
And like, for what? To get like play for a D3 school? Yeah. Like, nah. I'm good.
Just go do your photography.
I'm good.
Thing. No, I totally get it. One of the questions that I was kind of like curious when it comes to like your storytelling, like when you're looking through that viewfinder, you know, when you see a shot, is it for you like, you know, right away? You see a shot, you're like, this is just going to be insane. Like, I see some of your shots when I look at, like, that front. I don't know what player it was. You got that tight shot, kind of, he's almost looking right into your lens. And I look at it, it's like, man, you have to know.
The Minnesota Wild player,
it was a Wild.
Kevin Fiala.
Yeah, Kevin Fiala. There's a shot of Kevin Fiala.
It was just during warm-ups, and he was just kind of standing there, and there was a kid, and he was looking at the kid, and I was just kind of...
You're just right there.
Like trying
so
to
when
get
you
it.
see stuff, do you, like, especially on the ice, do you see stuff and you're going, oh, I already know.
Yeah,
like,
sometimes.
I already know that this shot is like...
Yeah, and there's some angles where I'm just like, I know this is like a killer angle every time.
You can just see it.
You know, right at the face-off, they line up right in front of me.
Yeah.
I just like focus on one player and just try to make it where you can only see like maybe half his face or like just the corner.
Yep. So you're still, even when you're still like shooting, you know, just going, you're still finding a little bit of time to add some creativity to it.
Yeah.
Instead of just
just going through the motion. I hate that. I always try to, because you can't improve. You can't improve if you're just going through the motions.
I saw one shot where I think it was just somebody was hopping over the board, and it's just ice, board, and a leg.
Yeah, that was a game 3 of playoffs for the Wild. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, to me that part of your work is just not so many people see that.
Yeah, and I love doing that kind of stuff.
I mean, there's not many people. When I look at it, I can say, wow, that's, you know, some people would say, oh, what is he doing?
Yeah,
but
it's just
to see your eye, like to picture what you were seeing, that's where I'm curious. Is like, I just really wanted to know about that. Is like, you see stuff, you try to be creative. You know, it's just crazy what you do when you see that. But that was what I was curious about, was how, when you see stuff, do you know? Like, you know, and for me, I know. Like, I can see something, I'm looking at it, I'm going.
Yeah, but sometimes there's surprises. I mean,
that's
you know,
true.
It just like catches you off guard. I'm like, oh, that's a good shot.
Some of those shots you never even thought.
Yeah.
Or you get back and you're like, I didn't even realize I took.
Yeah, like I took one of Jack Ashan that I love. It's like during the national anthem. It's really dark for St. Cloud State, and you can just see a little white go through his jersey, and you can barely see him.
Yep.
And it just looks so crisp.
You have to show me that one.
Yeah, and I love that one.
Check that out.
Yeah.
Now, I know you dabble into the seniors, the portraits. You're kind of working into that field.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure a lot of your work, did it come from even just school, like people from school? Is that kind of how it?
Most of the people that shoot, I knew in high school. Okay. Like some of my best shots. You know. And
then you started just growing that base.
Mm-hmm.
And how does that look for you moving forward? Is that something you're really interested in, seniors and portraits?
I just do seniors, honestly, because it makes money in the summer. Because, I mean, I'm shooting hockey, but there's no hockey in the summer. And so
it's one of those kind of, okay, I know I can make a little money
like, it's gotten a little routine for me. Which, like, good or bad, but like I can do it pretty easily.
I totally get it.
Yeah, and like it's not my number one passion. I'd love to get into the studio just because you can be real creative with that.
You start getting some lighting down.
And I'm just starting to get my like first set of strobes and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's a whole world. We'll have to link up. Now that I know you're getting your strobes, man.
Yeah, I'm getting some like pro photos.
That studio work is just like no.
Yeah,
you start really. Like, when you talk about your creativity and trying new things, I mean...
You can go full
You take a
range
model for an hour and just start changing
especially a good model that really knows poses and stuff like that.
You can find that. I tell a lot of photographers, I'm like, okay, you know, people, how do you do this? Or what are you doing for these models? And how do you find these? I said, you know, for me, really, you got to find a model. Early on, I worked with models that just... They were models. Yeah. You know, you always hear your Instagram models, and nothing wrong with that. Yeah. But the ones that have done this for 10 years, have trained professionally, have done this professionally, I tell people, I don't care what you got to pay, get a model. Yeah. If you got to pay a model, it doesn't matter.
And I've gotten lucky. Yeah. I mean, like, one of the models I work with all the time, she's just, like, a good friend from college. Yep. Her and I both dropped out of St. Cloud State, but, like, she's, like, she knows what she's doing. That's when I did like a New York clothing company. I worked with her, and we were in there for like 6 hours because there was just so many clothes, and she was just
going with it, and they're okay with it.
Yeah, she just killed it.
It's hard to find people like just regular models or you know, new models that don't quite know that field of like. It's hard to understand what we go through because we go. I go into a shoot or a fashion shoot. It's like I could see something 1 hour, and the next hour it's like we're changing the whole thing up. Yeah, it's like we're changing. This is not what I'm seeing. But to have people that are okay with that is huge. So I always tell people you got to find the right models. Yeah. Like it's very important.
Yeah, whenever I try to work with her, just because like they're like, oh, we don't have any models. So I'm like, I got a model.
It's all good.
Got a model.
Don't even worry about it.
So
that's
good.
That's the best thing to put in your back pocket. Is like, okay.
Yeah, and she's such
Don't
a good
matter.
friend too. So like, we hang out and then like, oh, let's do a shoot. Like
It's easy.
Yeah,
and I'm sure that could
great on my website.
And, that barrier.
Oh, her and I just click.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's already stripped.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Now when my phone going off, I told you to be quiet. I said don't bang on anything, and here I am with my phone going off. I better turn this one off.
I made sure to turn mine off.
Yeah, see, you don't even host the thing, and I'm over here now paying attention to my own. Now when you said talk about your seniors and everything, that's kind of leading me into your like, what's your next challenge? Like, what's something that your goal right now? You're like, okay, if I could figure this section out, or this type of photography, or even if it's just editing, like, what's your next challenge?
I don't. Studio, I really want to get into. I mean, I really want to get into it, but it's just such a tough world. Otherwise, I just like more of like stuff I already know. Like, I want to, like, I work for the NHL, but I want to be more of like a main photographer for a team.
Yep.
And just because you make a lot more doing that, and like you get a lot more free range.
Yes.
And you'd be in the locker room and stuff like that, which I love. Right now, I'm just like on the glass.
Interesting.
And that's
so kind of just work into something kind of more full-time.
Yeah.
Where there's not so much of like running around.
Yeah.
You know, you busting your butt to just get one spot here and one spot there. You just kind of want that next. Just solidify it for me.
Yeah.
Is that kind of where it is?
Yeah, and I also want to get into a little bit of like photojournalism and stuff like that. Because I'm going to Africa in like October and working with a nonprofit and doing some photos in like Kenya and Tanzania and stuff like that.
Wow.
And I shot one of my favorite like set of photos. I shot the riots in Minneapolis last year.
I saw that.
And you know, going into it, like I had no idea what I was going into that night.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, like I'm at the precinct, and all of a sudden lights on fire, and like just smoke everywhere. There's tear gas in my eyes, and like that was just a whole like
I could only imagine
experience. Like that was the coolest. I don't know, like you can say cool. Like I don't know how to explain it.
Was just
like,
I'm sure
it was an
very
experience.
interesting.
It was just an experience, you know, like
especially with a camera in your hand.
Yeah.
Like trying to document everything.
Yeah.
And what was that like when you're documenting things and you don't quite know your surroundings?
Yeah, I mean, it was so weird. You have to be so aware of like everything going on around you, so you don't really get a focus on your shot. But then again, you still have to be like creative. And like I see so many photojournalists where I'm like, it looks so all right, you know, like I go into it almost taking it like a portrait, you know, like so there's these guys standing up on a barrier, the fire's behind them, like dude, that's their backdrop. And I look at guys, I kind of model it off. I remember a shoot, Joey L. I don't know if you know him. He's like he's a great photographer. He does, I mean, his website's insane.
I'll have to check him out.
Oh my gosh, he's one of probably the best in the world at portraits.
Okay.
And he did a shoot where he was, I don't remember what country it was, and there was a big fire that broke out. And I remember the photos he got, and I was like, all right, just like
this is.
Yeah, just studying people's work, other people's work, and I can model it off that.
Interesting. So that constant like need for learning, looking at other photographers led you to something in the back of your mind going, wait, like I've seen something like this. I remember Joey L's shoot, and so boom, I can model it off that. And that's insane.
Yeah, and a lot of people wouldn't, like it's not like I'm copying his work, because it's two completely different instances, but like
enough to be aware of the background of a subject and say
he had a subject with fire behind it, and like so I'm like,
and you say instantly, you go, I can handle it, like I know
I'm like, oh, this is just like Joey L's photos. And
interesting. That's really cool. And that's one of the things that I wanted to have you on, because I see you do so many different things. Like you I think you spread yourself out pretty wide as far as like the types of style of photography you do. And so to pick your brain on that and to give people, you know, I hope other photographers and athletes and other people can listen to it, but from a photographer standpoint, it's really cool to know, you know, some of that stuff that you've had in the back of your mind.
Oh, I study people's work. Like
it's
crazy.
Just that's really cool.
Yeah, that's like my main source of how I get into photography. If like I want to learn something new, I just study people's work. I find like the best of it.
The best of
I mean, that's how I did it in hockey though. I mean, I would look at my teammates. One of them's drafted by the Montreal Canadiens, and I got to practice with every day, and I would just try to chase them. You know, and like, or I'd watch so much Patrick Kane videos as a kid. I was addicted to Patrick Kane.
I mean, pretty damn good.
And like you got to look at the best though. I mean, for hockey, I look at Mark Blinch for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and his stuff is, I mean, he's won think 2 sports photos of the years, 2018 and 2019, I think. You know, the shot of Kawhi when he hit the game winner against the 76ers, the above shot.
I've seen that.
That's his.
Interesting. Okay.
So he's amazing.
So to study that, I'm sure helps. You know, it really does help. You gotta know. I've always looked at it as like, it's not copying. It's just being inspired by something to continue to push your work.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's not copying.
Yeah, you
can't
really
you
can't copy.
Now, if I have the same exact image, I say, okay, you know what, that's not going anywhere.
Yeah,
it's not that image to me is not my image.
Especially with like they're not models.
Yes,
like a hockey player, I don't control like.
No, you have no control over it.
Yeah, but like I can know how like he kind of got this shot, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna try to like get inspired by that. Yeah, and same with like Joel, like I can't make the people riding do what I want. Yeah. Like it's just like click in the moment stuff, you know.
Yeah, I totally get it. And I look at like one of my all-time favorite photographers is Helmut Newton, and kind of a boudoir, just a photographer of, you know, for me it was like my inspiration for fashion and women and that whole world. And it's like I don't ever want to recreate an image. I just want to know that someday somebody can look at that and say, wow, that's in the likes of him, or that's in the likes of Annie Leibovitz. Like those are those. So to have that always in the back of my mind of going, how can I create something different than his, but still draw a little bit of inspiration from it?
Yeah.
You know, and you don't need to grab everything and start throwing it in images, but just to have it in the back of your mind is huge.
Yeah, yeah.
Like to really study people, and that's what I think what you're saying is, to have it in the back of your mind going, okay, it's there. I love this.
Yeah.
I'm just going to grow off of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of where I see it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, and like...
Damn.
You put like my photos, like... I'm like, you don't notice it from photo to photo, but like... You like, when you put mine next to like theirs, like a group of my photos next to like a group of theirs, you're like, oh, I can actually see it now.
Yeah. You know. Well, again... I appreciate you coming down. We haven't even dabbled into the O'Douls yet. So we're going to crack this open. We are at that point of the podcast now where you came on. You knew the deal.
I knew it.
You knew it. I told you before. You tried to convince me to get you some alcohol. I know you did.
I know.
You said I know that message you sent. I said, nope. I said, I know his age. Everybody, I know his age. That's why we are drinking this right here. So you want to crack that thing open? We're going to try, for everybody that doesn't know, I'm sure most people do, it is premium O'Doul's Golden non-alcoholic brew. And you said you've never had a non-alcoholic beer. I haven't either. I really don't want to do this either.
I mean, I like Golden, so...
Well, let's try it out. Here we go. Cheers. You got cheers me first. Come on. Let's try this O'Doul's. Oh, man, I hate this.
I can't even tell.
Whoa.
I can't tell it's non-alcoholic.
Damn.
It's not bad.
Whew.
Not bad at all.
You know, low-key, I would strip this off if I was at a party or something and I didn't want to drink.
Yeah.
Like I needed an excuse or I had just like a photo shoot in the morning.
Yeah.
This would be my beer.
Yeah, for sure.
You'd never know.
Yeah.
Damn, that's not bad. You're going to be a big O'Doul's fan now.
Yeah, like last night the boys wanted to drink. I'm like, dude... I got this podcast to go to. I got all this stuff.
You have to be sharp. You got to
exactly.
be sharp. I totally get it.
Yeah.
Now you can crack open an O'Doul's.
Yeah, this is my...
Man, this ain't bad.
Yeah.
It ain't no bubbler, but like, everybody can see that.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody knows what it is. But that surprisingly tastes like
a beer.
A light beer.
A light beer.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, I guess this might be my new favorite if I don't need to drink or I can't drink. This might be it. Like normally, beer just gets me. I'll be sitting here going,
yeah, that's not bad.
That's not bad though. I'm gonna turn that. So everybody, if you want a non-alcoholic beer, if you have not had an O'Doul's yet, I still hate beer though. I still hate beer. I just can't do it.
I like beer a little bit.
A little bit. No.
During the summer, it's good.
I'm like a foo-foo drink. Give me like something pink. I can handle that. I'm not a big alcohol guy though. Like I'm not a big alcohol guy. Like something about that taste is just gets me every time, dude.
Yeah.
I'm one of those guys that like would rather dump it out and then pretend it. take a shot or something.
Yeah.
I'm big.
Some guy gave me like a Washington apple the other day. I've never had it before. It's like, this is the worst drink I've ever had in my life.
You're like, yeah, that's the thing.
It was like an instant like gag. I've never had that before. I was like, holy, I might puke right now.
Oh man,
it's like,
like
Scooby, that Scooby drink, whatever people get at the. Oh, I hate that.
Or like
it tastes like mucus.
I get like a Yag.
Oh, Yag bombs.
And like the whole next morning, I'm just chilling. I'm just like, can feel that Yag just sitting right there, and it's like.
I drink a lot of Yag bombs.
Nah,
tastes like terrible, yet I love it.
If I'm sitting on a boat, bro, you gotta give me something fruity. Like, give me like a seltzer or something, or like I can drink a seltzer. I could drink, maybe like a mimosa.
I like
mimosa in the morning. That's a good.
I like champagne.
That's a good drink. I almost got you some non-alcoholic wine, and I thought
like white wine.
Like a white wine, non-alcoholic. That's not bad. Well, thank you for going along with this O'Doul's thing for me today.
It's not bad at all.
I ran out of the house to grab it for you. I originally had something planned. I totally forgot your age. I said, nope, not doing it. You're getting O'Doul's. So,
like a month away too.
Well, Luke, I don't care. I don't care. Okay, I'm not going to be seen with you having alcohol on my podcast.
On camera. That's what you mean.
It's one thing if I can say like, he didn't have it, but I have receipts.
Yeah.
I made sure I got a receipt. If anybody questioned it, I said I got a receipt right here.
I mean, you can read it right here.
That's all I'm saying. So
non-alcoholic brew.
In case my my Canon RP is like the quality. There wasn't much that I had left to talk to you about because I do want to see you. We're gonna hopefully continue this relationship outside of just the podcast. Now meet up. Maybe I'll second shoot for you. You second shoot for me. We'll be hanging around. I'm thinking we get some content. I think we do like something where I come shoot you, you come shoot me.
That'd be kind of nice.
Share some content, grow our Instagrams a little bit.
Yeah,
that's one thing I struggle with the most is like my own content. Like I hate I'm like I want to take I take my own photos, but nobody's ever taken photos of me.
Yeah.
Do you know how many like bald headed shots I have like from the back of my head? Could you imagine what that looks like just on Instagram? Just a bunch of bald heads just chilling.
I've had a few people now like. The more I get up there, taking pictures of me, taking pictures.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I kind of like it. Yeah,
it's cool to have that stuff. And I'm like, now I struggle just to get a piece of content for my own self. Like people, to me, like I'm sure you know, it's like people want to see you. Like you're one of the most interesting people that's the reason they're following you is because of your work and your eye and who you are. And I'm trying to like battle that of like. I can't just keep posting bald heads everywhere and like nobody has a shot. I'm like I was at a photo shoot the other day and I'm like, can you get a shot? It was a couple session. Just get a shot. Like I'm gonna give you this camera. All you gotta do is press on the RP. It's the touch shutter.
Yeah.
So you literally touch on it, focus quick, shutter goes off quick.
Yeah.
I'm just stand right there, just take a shot. I'll even line it up. I'm like, it's not that hard. I get these photos back and I was like, okay, well.
Something, I guess.
I can use like one.
Yeah. When I go to Colorado with like my brother, we'll go skiing and stuff like that, and like I'll take photos of them. Like, I get sick photos of them.
I would imagine. I've seen your. That was the other thing on your website. Was
I have a little ski.
Dude, you have that shot of. I don't know who it was. Goggles on.
That's Buka.
That's Buka?
That's Buka.
Dude, that shot, anybody who's listening, you gotta, there's a shot on there, and I'm not gonna ask how you did it, or if it, was it in the mountains, or that was in the mountains?
Yeah, that was in Colorado. Man. Yeah, that was just a few weeks ago.
Oh, was this crisp? I looked at this thing, I said, dude, the fact that you don't have, you will, your things are growing, but the fact that, like, people aren't ringing right now, you get that work out there. I think you're gonna
and I was just messing around,
You're gonna be sore.
Shooting some
your snowboard stuff
skiing
too.
Stuff. Ski would be fun to get into.
That'd be
skiing
cool.
Photography.
That'd be sweet.
Yeah,
maybe head
go
out to
hard.
the Olympics. Ooh,
dude, I go hard on skiing too.
Really?
Like, that's my pastime.
Really?
Right now. Yeah.
That's kind of your go-to. Yeah. So you head out to Colorado, start skiing.
Yeah. I'm going to when the border opens up. I'll go to Whistler in Canada and rip that a little bit.
So then you bring that camera with. You got some sweet shots up there. When I saw that, I was like, skiing. I thought, what do you mean skiing? I clicked on it, and I said, I said, you got some talent, dude.
Yeah.
To go from that wide of a range and just have such pure, clean images, it was just, it's so simple, but like, oh man, I can't describe your work.
Yeah.
From a photographer to a photographer, it's hard. Like
I don't even know how to describe it.
I would idolize to like have some of your shots and say that's some. Oof, I'd be pretty damn proud to have some of that stuff.
Yeah.
You know what, dude? I just want to thank you again for coming down. I'm glad I got to pick your brain a little bit about photography.
Yeah.
I'm still new to the podcast thing,
Yeah.
so these questions are a little off. I forget some stuff. I got notes here for anybody who can see. I got notes. I didn't quite get to all of the questions I wanted for you.
It's all right.
But maybe we'll do some more content. We'll do some other things. Get some knowledge out there from both of us. That'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah.
But no, I just want to thank you for coming down. It's great to have you.
Yeah.
I appreciate you drinking
Thank
the
you.
O'Doul's. I'm excited to see where your work goes. Like, I really, really am excited to see where that goes. Hope everything goes well for you, especially in the, with the NHL and Bubbler. Hopefully get some more brands in.
Yeah,
Maybe
a
send
little
them
bit.
Maybe send them my way.
Maybe like Red Bull or something.
Ooh,
like
Red
that.
Bull.
That'd be
Let those
fun.
wings fly. Man.
I know a Red Bull photographer.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe you got some. I think you
He
got
has
some
some
things
cool
in the
stuff.
work, man.
He got some cool stuff.
You got a lot of potential ahead of you. But thank you again. I appreciate you coming down, and hopefully everybody go check out Luke's work. It's Luke Schmidt.
LukeSchmidtPhotography.com and CHMIDT.
LukeSchmidt.com. You're on Instagram.
Yeah,
obviously.
Luke Schmidt Photo.
Okay. I'll send everybody once we get that out there. I want everybody to go see your stuff. And if you're a senior and you're listening to this or know somebody that's a senior, maybe send them Luke's way.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Book on my website.
Book on his website. It's easy.
Easy.
You will not be disappointed when you go check out his work, and especially to book you. It was easy. When I went to go look at your website, and I said, man, to have a senior session, click instantly. I thought that's killer.
Pick a time, and
it's
that's all
easy.
you gotta do.
So tell me real quick. Are there any other things that you got going on, or you just anywhere else? That
No,
you reach
I'm doing
Facebook,
a little bit.
Instagram.
Yeah, I got Facebook. Luke Schmidt Photography. I don't really.
Cool.
It's the same as my Instagram.
Sweet.
Yeah.
But other than that, just go to that website. If you want to book him, I'm telling you, you got to do a shoot. Any models out there?
Yeah.
Get a shoot.
You want a print of travel stuff, drone stuff.
Oh my God, he's got this shot of the lightning in the deserts. I thought, I gotta have that.
That's when I went to Utah, sophomore year of high school.
I think when I get the studio set up, not in a random room, when I get the studio set up, you're getting me a print of that. We're gonna put it right up there. I would appreciate that.
That was when I was a sophomore in high school.
We're gonna
got the 5D.
Works?
Yeah, rented that 5D, and
there it is.
Yeah.
I want one of those. We're gonna put it in the studio. So again, thank you. I appreciate it, and it's cool. So hopefully everything goes well from here. Everybody, that was Sunday Sips. Next week we got another interesting one. I'm not gonna tell anybody who it is. I'm keeping it all surprise. It's all surprise. Nobody even knows you're coming on today. Okay. Oof. Not until the episode comes out on Sunday next week. Nobody knows. Stay tuned, everybody. Hopefully we get some new content coming. We're going to do it right. Go to the Instagram, Sunday Sips /pod. Sunday Sips Pod. I don't even know. I don't even know my own Instagram for the podcast. Go check it out. It's in my own personal Instagram bio, Sunday Sips Pod, on Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube. So, Luke, again, thank you.
Thank you.
And everybody else, peace. Thanks for listening to the Sunday Sips podcast, and make sure to go subscribe on Spotify or Apple Music. Also, go check out the Instagram page @Sunday Sips Pod for more content and behind the scenes.